Hello, Megacon, how are you doing? Hi, it is absolutely wonderful to see you here. Have you had a good weekend? Yes. Are you excited for the next panel? Do we have any Lord of the Rings fans here? Good, I'm glad we're in the right place, so we're good. My name is Claire. It's an absolute honour to be your moderator today. Thank you very much for being here. We're going to invite our guests to the stage, and what I want you to do is scream and shout when you see them. Can we do that? Okay, let's get our first guest to the stage. It's Mr. John Rhys-Davies! Elijah Wood? Yes! Looking fine in mustard. And last but not least, it's the wonderful Liv Tyler! Before we start, I've been told we need to do a crowd selfie. Are you up for an audience selfie?
Can we actually turn the house lights on?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so you guys have to stand here.
Oh.
Let's do an audience selfie.
Oh yeah. Are we?
And could you please put your phones in the air, light up your phones, because we want to see all those twinkling phones.
Don't look this way. There you go.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's shout Megacon!
I hate to
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I always feel my pants are going to split.
Guys, look at our wonderful panel. You happy to see them? 25 years. I know. I don't like to think about it. But I asked Orlando this yesterday. 25 years ago, I was skipping college classes to see Lord of the Rings. And I said to Orlando, and now I'm here, full circle. So it kind of worked, I guess. Where were you guys before you took these roles in Lord of the Rings? Where were you in your careers at that point? What was happening in your lives, if we can think back?
That is a very good question. Gosh, I was living in New York. Where was I? I don't know. I remember my personal life more. I remember when I got offered the part for the Lord of the Rings, actually. I was staying in the Chateau Marmont, which is a famous hotel in LA, and Peter called me, and we spoke on the phone, and I was so excited that I jumped on the bed when I got off the phone and swooned all over the place and said, "Oh my God, I'm going to New Zealand." But that's what I remember.
I mean, God, what was I doing? I was living in the Valley. Like her, I remember when I got the call to be in the film, and I was at our house in Valley Village, California. But yeah, I don't know. I was sort of in between work at that time. I'd made a movie that no one's seen with Steve Zahn and David Cross, who I love those guys so much. This movie called Chain of Fools, super fun. Just before going out to do this film. That's it, and I kind of waited. I auditioned for the film. We all kind of put ourselves out for it, and it was a bit of a long process, I think. I made my own tape and was just sort of waiting to see what would happen.
Thank you. And John, you've got quite a resume, so where were you around about that time before you took the role of Gimli? Where were you in your career?
Actually, I was in California as well. And I just changed agents, and my manager had been working on this for some time, and we'd all done an audition. I'd auditioned for Denethor. And I thought, oh yes, a nice quick trip to New Zealand. This film will never happen. The book is unreadable. It's unfilmable, and it will fizzle to a pop. But yes, I'll go and do it. I'll do a month in New Zealand, get around, see a country I haven't seen before, come back, and resume normal life. And then they offered me Gimli. An actor spends 30 years trying to be recognized, and then they want to make you that big and put 2 inches of plasticine around your face or whatever it is. Why would anyone want to do that who is sane? And then, of course, you say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste 3 years of my life. And then the agent says, John, I'm afraid that if you don't accept this part, we can no longer continue to represent you.
His hands were tied. But we're happy he did it, right? Absolutely. What a wonderful thing, though, to be shooting on location in such a beautiful place. As actors, when you're shooting away from home, does the environment affect the way that you think about the character and feel about the character as well?
You want to go first?
Sure. I mean, especially for something like this, right, where Middle-earth is such a massive element of the storytelling, the environments that these characters find themselves in, and really the creation of a fantasy land that feels so palpable and real when you're reading the books. And so for New Zealand to transform into Middle-earth, and really it evokes Middle-earth so naturally without having to do anything, and then to be surrounded by these extraordinary sets and costumes and all of the sort of elements of the environment that became so real, that does so much of the work for us. It's incredibly transportive. I mean, stepping into Hobbiton, for instance, was like really stepping into a magical place. It felt like it existed. And so it required very little imagination on our part and allowed us to really feel like a part of the fabric of that world that we were a part of creating. And being in such a wonderful, hospitable, beautiful place was also just soothing and comforting and magical. And, you know, that country is really so special, and it opened its arms to us in such a beautiful way, and has left an indelible sort of mark on our hearts that I think will be with us forever. So that's a huge part of it too, you know.
So beautiful. I mean, as he said, everything you just said, it was just seeing all of that come to life, and so exciting. Because we would come to set every day, and sometimes we were split into different units and multiple movies going on at once, and we were all in different places. I remember one time we arrived in a town, and then it was sunny, and then the next day it was underwater, and people were kayaking through town, and then you got trapped on the top of a mountain and had to be helicoptered out.
Yeah.
This was all on the same day. And it was just incredible. It was so beautiful, the variety of everything that was going on, and shooting on location is so wonderful for fully being immersed in the world and the characters and not being distracted by home on a personal level too. It's so great to be able to get to do that.
I can imagine. Having said that, was it sad? Was there a bit of sadness when you left that world? Because I'd want to stay there forever. It sounds so wonderful. Did you feel a bit of a tinge of, I have to go home now?
Always sad. Yeah.
I mean, we not unlike Return of the King, we had many endings. And so when we finished principal photography, so the initial wrap of all 3 films that we were shooting simultaneously, that was we did not know about pickups at that point. So in our minds, that was it, and we were saying goodbye, and it was very hard to say goodbye because it had become our lives. Because the other thing too is like, we all moved there. We lived in New Zealand for the duration of the filming, 16 months roughly of our lives. So it was like leaving our life. You know, it wasn't like 3 months, which is hard enough when you connect with so many people making a film. But it was really hard to leave that. And then we went back for pickups, and we sort of said goodbye multiple times over the course of many years. But yeah, very hard to say goodbye at the very end, sure. It's like something you just want to keep doing forever. But, you know, all good things come to an end, I suppose.
Was there anything when you were in New Zealand that you were homesick for? Because I live in America now, and I think about Cadbury's chocolate and Marks and Spencer's very... You know Marks and Spencer's?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Elijah knows.
Oh, yeah.
Love Marks and Spencer's biscuits or cookies. So
Selfridges, too. Oh.
Dude, don't even. Hey. Is there anything you felt homesick for when you were in New Zealand?
When we first got offered this incredible opportunity, that I'm a Cancerian, I don't know if anyone's Cancer, but I'm very much a homebody, and my home environment is, that was the number one thing. I was like, yes, I'm totally down for every part of this experience, but how will we be away from home for that long? So, and I think because of the fellowship, these guys were together, and you guys used to travel all the time and go off and
little trips occasionally.
I think I was quite homesick just because it was a different sort of dynamic and different. That was harder for me, but it was also heavenly amazing. And then I regretted at the end not going on more adventures and being homesick.
Spoken like a true Cancer.
John, how long were you? You were there for the whole time.
Oh yes, I was there for a long time. But to get back to an earlier part of the question, New Zealand had never been exposed to the world of film, and New Zealand separated from Gondwana land before the evolution of mammals, which meant that it didn't have any mammals, and it had egg-laying on-the-ground birds. It had a totally different morphology, if you like. The fauna and the flora are all slightly different, and that's what makes it not quite of this earth. It becomes a Middle Earth in itself.
It's quite prehistoric.
And as for nostalgia, I fell in love with the place. When I got there, I was so impressed by the keenness and enthusiasm of, the Weta people, for instance. Absolutely. These guys were so keen. I'd never seen an enthusiasm and a passion for this. And Richard Taylor, whom we are going to see him, are we not?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe? Oh, maybe not. Okay. Well, there is a fellow there called Sir Richard Taylor, who has a capacity for leadership and a vision for design. He ultimately is the guy who actually really visually sees the overall detail and the picture that you see on the film. He's a man of genius, but he's also a man of immense enthusiasm. I remember I was driving, I drive the length and breadth of Ireland always when I get the chance. And I went past the New Zealand War Museum, and I chatted to a guy there who'd done some modeling for the museum, and I said, this is brilliant stuff. I went down and I went into Weta and talked to Richard about this guy. He immediately jumps in the car and drives 4 or 5 hours up to the Imperial to try and persuade this guy to join them. I mean, it's that I mean, he's the top dog there, but he's, you know, he's a hands-on man in every part. Yeah. His leadership of Weta alone is one of the great triumphs of New Zealand. And Peter Jackson himself puts New Zealand on a map of the world in a way that nobody since Captain Cook has done. And these guys are owed a debt by New Zealand that they'll never be able to be paid. It's wonderful. Go there. Go there.
We are going to play a game in a moment, but I've got a burning question for Liv. It's the most important question of your career. Are you ready? Liv Tyler at Megacon. Have you gotten over your fear of horses?
Oh,
where are you?
Gosh, there's so many horses where I live. In Ojai, there's
exposure therapy.
It's very interesting because I would love to do some horse therapy, actually, and I do look into it often. Which doesn't go much past Googling. But we live in a mountain town in California, and there's a lot of horses. And my daughter rides horses at school. Have I been back on a horse? Yes, but not, yes. It's not that I'm scared. The scary part was being on set in these beautiful sets, and then me being on a horse, and then in the middle of acting having to kind of, go off. But into a set, there was humans there, and walls, and stands, and I think that was the part.
It's a lot of things to sort of occupy your brain and simultaneously. I get that.
It was interesting being on set, not on outside, like inside a soundstage. That's what it was.
And you were on the horse inside the soundstage.
And then the horse sometimes, they're horses, so
they get spooked.
So sometimes scary things would happen. Yeah. And a really good rider knows how to handle that.
You did very well.
I was like, I don't want to know how to.
No, you did well.
And then I'd start petting the horse and just wanting to hang out with the horse.
Well, I think you did a great job.
Thank you very much.
What do you guys think? So, thank you, Liv. I like that you live near horses now, that's your thing. Like, you know what, I'm going to live with next to all the horses, why not? We are going to play a game called One Choice to Rule Them All. I'm going to hand you these whiteboards. Please pass them along the line. Thank you. It's very easy game. There you go. There you go, my dear. Thank you very much. I'm going to read out these questions. There's some tissue for you guys to help you wipe the boards. Look at this. It's like being at school. There you go. Okay, don't be scared, I promise. Yeah, you're going to just write A or B. Glad I'm not cleaning up the props, but that's okay. We're going to play One Choice to Rule Them All. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. You just write down A or B. It's really easy. You guys ready? Okay.
All right, make sure I hear it. I'm deaf as a post.
You got it. Question 1. Frodo carried the One Ring all the way to Mount Doom, but what do you think he would have packed for a snack on the journey? A, a second breakfast burrito, or B, a bag of potato chips? A or B? What do you think, A or B? A, alright, okay. Second breakfast burrito. Cool, yeah, okay, I like that. Okay, you ready? B, one guy was like, potato chips. Once you've written down thing, can we see your answers? A or B? 3, 2, 1. Choice C. Question 2. Are you guys ready? If Arwen had to pick a modern day career.
Oh. I didn't realize this is all hypotheticals and I fucking love it. This is great.
Also that joyful, oh. And what would that career be? Would it be a motivational speaker for long distance relationships? Or would it be a NASCAR driver? You're pretty fast on that horse. So NASCAR driver is B. Option A is motivational speaker for long distance relationships. I think she would. And I'm conflating your star sign with the vibes, and I think Cancers would be good at that. Yeah, I don't know, but she could like give. This is genuinely the astronaut. I love secret option C. Not gonna lie. Question. Okay, number 3. Gimli famously said, "Nobody tosses a dwarf." That's a very bad impression. But if Gimli were tossed, where would he land? A. Awkwardly in Legolas's arms. Or B. In a barrel of ale. Or secret option C, anybody? Okay, guys. I want to see Gimli in his arms. All right, you ready? What do you guys think, A or B? We're gonna reveal our answers in 3, John, 2, 1. Okay, you ready? Oh wow, this is the Arwen one again. If Arwen had to write a dating profile, what would her tagline be? Would it be A, immortal beauty seeking someone to defy fate for me?
Wait, what was that? Immortal
Beauty.
beauty?
Looking to find someone to defy fate for me.
Looking for someone to define fate.
Okay, or would it be B, horse riding enthusiast, fluent in Elvish and love languages?
Wait, horse riding what?
Enthusiast,
Horse enthusiast.
fluent in love languages. What would your characters love? Our secret option C? Yeah? Okay, ready? We're gonna flip to the boards in 3. Okay. 2, 1. What does that say? What does that? Cool. We'll take it. Next up. Okay, this is the last question, and then we're gonna move on to our next segment.
This is going so well.
I love the spectrum of enthusiasm.
It's so great.
Okay, last question. If the cast of Lord of the Rings had to compete in a reality TV show, which would they win? Would it be A, The Amazing Race? Journeys, long journeys. Or would it be The Great British Bake Off?
Bake Off.
A or B, you guys? Well, first of all, shout A if you believe A. This one gentleman's like, C. All right, 3, 2, 1. Amazing Bake Off race. I love it.
Oh, by the way, I think The Amazing Race would be.
That'd be amazing.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be so great.
I also always wanted to be a contestant on that.
Oh yeah.
It's just the most fun with like your friend or family member and like working to get ahead of them and travel. Oh, it's so fun.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd like to be in Bake Off. I just want to eat.
Amber Spread would be a winner, I think, on one of those baking shows.
Okay, you guys, that was one choice to rule them all.
I'll take that from you. I will relieve you, sir.
Good. It's a bit of a. We're just cleaning up. We've got some helpers here. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay, no, they're making it worse. They're making it worse.
Right, would you want me to take
It's
that for
okay.
you?
Thank you, Elijah. Thank you. He's on the payroll.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Elijah. Thanks, mate.
You're very welcome.
Okay, next up, we have some special guests. You may have guessed or not. We've got two very special guests here all the way from New Zealand. I'm very excited to welcome them to the stage. They are the absolute legends and geniuses behind the Lord of the Rings physical effects. It's Sir Richard Taylor and Tanya Roger from Weta Workshop. Please. Keep shouting, shout and scream, come on. Take it away, you guys. What have you got to show us?
Thank you to a dwarf, a hobbit, and an elf. Lovely welcome. Look, we've got something to share with you, but before we do, Tanya and I were just chatting out the back there and just wanted to say how much we have loved being here in Orlando at the Megacon with you all. We've had lots of people. It's actually been really fabulous, and Tanya and I very rarely get to travel together because when I'm away, Tanya has to look after the workshop, and Tanya actually hasn't been to a con for 8 years, so she somehow the stars aligned and we had a little gasp of breath between jobs, and it meant that Tanya could come with me, which has made the whole weekend even more special. So as you appreciate, we've had the great joy of creating a line of collectibles that celebrate the Lord of the Rings, and that's included a number of things such as a jewellery line. We've created Masters Collection swords that Peter Lyon makes, and we've got the license to be allowed to make 10 of each of the swords we made on Lord of the Rings. But in a desire to try and celebrate other artisans that we didn't work with directly but worked on the films with us and worked for other department heads, we have chosen to start a line of very beautiful items, highly limited edition, and this is made by Jasmine Watson, the original jewellery maker on Lord of the Rings. And so what Tanya and I are going to unveil is this exquisite piece here. Oh my God. So this is Arwen's crown, and Tanya will tell you a little bit about Jasmine.
So Jasmine Watson, she started making jewellery when she was 10 years old. So she was carving in bone and shell. And she's also worked on other projects like Xena and Hercules and the Narnia film projects. And she is an exquisite jeweller, and she's based in New Zealand. And as Richard said, she worked under Nyla Dixon, the costume designer for Lord of the Rings. So she's contributed. So Jasmine has contributed to the most beautiful, iconic jewellery I think we could ever hope to see in films. So this is the piece. It's a beautiful crown. Do you want to come and have a look at it, Liv? Come and see. Come and have a look.
Put it on! Put it on!
There's one pin, Liv. We've got to find the pin so we don't jab.
Okay.
To have flashbacks. I feel like it was very hot when we were filming this. There was a wig. Too bad I don't have.
So these are only going to be a handful of these made. It's going to be a very limited edition.
Can I have one?
I am sure.
I have to do for one.
That is very, very special seeing that on your head again. So lovely. We're all going to swoon, eh? It's a very special moment. Oh, great.
Do I take it off or keep it?
Oh, you hang on.
I might just go home with it.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Tanya. We've got a seat for both of you. Thank you so much. Don't drop it. God, gorgeous. You guys, it's Richard and Tanya. Come on. Thanks so much. And thanks, Liv, for modelling that for us as well.
That is so incredible, and incredible to see that again. And it transports you instantly. It's so cool.
So beautiful.
Wow. That was awesome.
Thank you for joining the
Beautiful.
panels.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's
Was
nice.
that the first in a line of what
Yes,
will be?
because she hand makes them, they take many months to make, as you could imagine. Just like the swords, right? Because Peter has to grind every sword, manufacture everything by hand. That will be exactly as Jasmine will make them.
Wow.
So,
No, I don't want to interrupt at this point. But I have to say that the influence of the dwarvish in the design
Guys, isn't it nice to have like a panel with Richard and Tanya as well as some of the cast, right? This is really cool. I had a question for Richard, actually both of you. Richard, I know that you said that you've got to listen to the client, really listen to what they want, and then it's a collaborative process. I'm just interested, what were the conversations and what were you hearing when you first started working on Lord of the Rings? What were you taking from, I guess, the filmmaker's perspective?
well, we've been very fortunate to have worked with Pete for quite a long time by this point. We've done Meet the Feebles, Brain Dead, Heavenly Creatures, The Frighteners, Jack Brown, Genius. So by the time Forgotten Silver, better not forget that. So by the time we got to Lord of the Rings, we'd actually been working on King Kong for many months, and sadly Mighty Joe Young came out, beat us to the cinema, so the plug got pulled on King Kong in 1996, and we were actually quite desperate at the time, thinking things might take a turn for the worst, and thankfully Steve Starkey from Bob Zemeckis' office rode in on his white Charger and saved us with 400 digital effect shots on Contact, which gave Peter the time to catch his breath and go back out to the world to figure out what to do next. So he returned back to New Zealand on a particular day, and as I mentioned on this stage a couple of days ago, phoned Tanya and I up, told us to grab the fish and chips, bring a bottle of Coke, bring the boys over, which is Daniel Falconer and 4 of our other staff, and join him at his place. We sat on the floor and he told us we were going to be making Lord of the Rings. And that's as simple and as boring as it actually happened. There was no hoopla, and in Pete's very understated way, he just told us we're going to start. And so we went back to our workshop and ripped into it. We just simply started sculpting and drawing that week, and very successfully captured some of the characters that very first week that ended up being in the movie. So very, very simple story, but a very beautiful one.
I love that. Do you have any, I guess, knowing the cast, does that affect the way that you create as well, or at all, like through the films? Like, do you have any collaboration with the cast when you're talking to them, seeing them as well? Does that affect your creative process?
Absolutely. The prosthetics, hair, makeup, costume, props, armour, all has to go hand in hand with the person that's going to be wearing it. We always want to, we realise that a number of casts may turn up straight off another job. They may not have had the level of pre-production that we have had, where we have immersed ourselves in the world. So we want to try and imbue what we make with the spirit of the character from the movie, or from the literature in this case. So when the actor puts it on, hopefully they have a sense of the weight of responsibility that person may be carrying in the world that they're going to occupy, or they may feel a sense of joy or a nastiness. You know, Grima Wormtongue, we gave him his dagger, and he looked at it and expressed how it felt exactly like something. This is exactly what he did when we first met him. He goes, "Oh, I could just stab someone in the ribs with this." And that's great, because that's exactly what we want people to feel. Right?
I love that. I thought it was in Scotland for a second. Transports me back. What about you guys as a cast? Speaking to Tanya and Richard, what are those conversations like for you? What an interesting, fun process.
I just remembered that being my favorite place to come to, because it was such a lot to take on, and I think I was having to learn how to sword fight and ride horses and do all these other things, and Elvish and English, but my happy place was Weta. And I used to come and sit a lot with Ben and other people, and whenever they were sculpting my ears or drawing, I would be like, "I'll come and I'll sit for you." And they'd be like, "What do you mean? You have a lot to do." And I would just sit there and we'd listen to music, and I would go check out all the artists were so incredible. And the thing that I really remember you guys all telling me was that people would apply from school all over the world to art schools, and that you would both pick the people who were the most talented. And it was just so cool to see people that didn't necessarily have the degree or the education to afford that, but the people that were the most passionate and the most brilliant artists were all there in that room. And that blew my mind, especially being a musician's kid. Like, that's what it's like when you're with musicians too. It was incredible, really very special.
Yeah, we were really blessed because Liv just kept coming. Liv came to the workshop just a couple of hours after she arrived in New Zealand, because we urgently had to head cast her, take casts of her ears. And I'm going to tell the story for the first time on stage. I don't know if Liv remembers this, but Liv spat her tea at me in the first 2 hours I met her. Liv sat in the makeup chair. I applied her ball cap ready for the application. I could see that she was nervous, and I said, "Can I get you anything?" And she goes, "I'd love a cup of tea." And I said, "Milk and sugar?" "Yes, please." So I went off to the kitchen. I have never put white sugar in a cup of tea, right? We always have brown sugar coming from Northern England. But I thought, I'm going to make this cup of tea really flash. And I put white sugar in her tea. Took it back to her very proudly, handed over. She took a swig of the tea and she goes, "What are you trying to do? Effing poison me?" And I didn't know Liv yet. Of course, Liv would never do this, but I immediately, she's going to tell Barry, the producer. I had put salt in her tea. Oh my God, I was devastated.
Anyone would spit that out.
2 big scoops of salt.
Salt, accidentally trying to be flash and make you a nice cup of tea.
Not knowing I would have liked the brown sugar better.
That's an amazing story.
Guys, we have run out of time, sadly, for the panel, but you know, I just want to say it is an absolute honour and a pleasure to sit next to people who create worlds in 2 different ways. You're creating these worlds from scratch, physically, practically, and you guys are bringing them to life through storytelling. All of you are absolutely incredible.
Oh,
Thank you so much. So, let's give it up one last time. Scream and shout!